All right, here we go. We are live. We're doing pretty good. I've got a drink with me. Let's play some Halo. Oh. Here we go. We got Unknown Will Fourth, who says hi. We've got the Average Clown Hole. We've got Jordan Reed. Eduardo Drumac. Hello there, Hunter. Rockseller. All right, everybody's getting in here. How are you all doing? Legendary Mjolnir says, did they fix the aiming yet? Okay, so Legendary Mjolnir, there's, on the topic of aiming, there's been some pretty interesting discoveries, at least. So, at least on PC, 343 have removed red reticle. So, from what I understand, they did that because there are certain softwares that can be made, basically automatically fire upon the reticle turning red. So they just disabled it for PC. As well as, like, there's some other funky shenanigans going on with aiming, at least. Like, something to do with dead zones, but... Dylan Connolly says, how are you, LNG? I am doing pretty good. Kashmir says, hello from Mexico. Hello from the United States. What's the weather like where you are? It is actually getting colder where we are. Notice his voice, how nice and not high-pitched it is. Yeah! I've got a drink with me currently, and I just started streaming, so... By the end of the stream, I will be back to my dehydrated self. Ugh. Hello from Argentina. Wow, that's pretty far. I still have red reticle on PC, says Proof. Okay, you do? Wait, what? This isn't the new map. Is it in matchmaking? Is it in Social Slayer? Ah, well. Hopefully the next map will be it. I'm very tired of this map. Okay, let's go up here. Oh, we're playing Strongholds. Okay. I'm not the biggest fan of Strongholds. It is like that kind of standard, like, domination Call of Duty mode or Destiny control. Like, every shooter has it. But, I feel like Territories is a little bit more creative. It makes better use of the entire map. Oh, we got somebody from India watching. Hello from Sweden. 3 a.m. in Kangaroo Land. We got somebody from Australia. Jeez. Okay. No, thank you, sir. Oh boy. Hopefully that kills him. Oh, okay. Well, at least it put him at a disadvantage. There we go. Come on down. Damn it. Okay, I thought I was about to kill that guy. That was a pretty good start to the match, right? Oh, man. People are from all over the planet in this chat. Hello from Walmart. Here's some motivational bread, says Fudge Cake. So, I can't actually eat bread. I got one of them gluten allergies. So, I unfortunately cannot touch bread. So, that would kill me. I appreciate the... No, it wouldn't just kill... It wouldn't kill me. It would make me very uncomfortable for like a day or two. So, I appreciate the motivational bread, but I'm going to have to politely decline, if that's okay. If you have gluten-free bread, I would accept that. Isn't Repulsor OP? I like the Repulsor. I don't think it's that OP. I think the Repulsor does exactly what it says on the tin. Ooh. You celiac? It's not celiac. Oh boy. Yeah, you thought you could escape? I've got a Halo Infinite assault rifle. This thing's a fully automatic battle rifle. You can't escape me. Here, let's go this way. It also even has the same ammo, 36. But 36 rounds? 36 rounds. How do you eat pizza if you can't eat bread? I eat the cheese off the top of the pizza. I also like eating gluten-free pizza. Like cauliflower crust, gluten-free crust. Hi from Installation04. Oh man, somebody's living on a Halo ring. When you ranted about Modern Sonic a while ago, it made me think you would like this fan game called Sonic Utopia. It's a really good example. Okay, Mr. Lank, it's interesting that you mentioned Sonic Utopia, because currently, so my ADHD brainworm for this month, it was Transformers earlier this year. Currently, I'm on a bit of a Sonic kick. If you have any good Sonic fan games, I'd recommend checking out my Twitter or Discord and sending me a personal list of, like, good Sonic games to try, because I'm currently playing the Sonic 06 fan-made PC project, and that is pretty nice, and I'd like some more Sank to play. You know, Sonic is pretty bad when it's bad, but when Sonic is good, it is pretty good. And fortunately, fans make pretty good Sonic games. Mostly. Oh, a grapple shot. Here, we'll take that. Because something I actually want to try doing, I haven't used it a lot, and I probably should be, is the grapple shot's ability to pull items towards you. I noticed I hadn't been using it a lot. Here, let's see. Let's grab, that. Yeah. That's pretty cool, right? I can't believe... I was watching, the gameplay demo last night, and, Chief pulls something towards himself with the grapple shot, and I was like, that's right! You could do that in this game. That LI Gamer guy says, Hey, late night from New York. Just got done playing a little bit ago. I legit waited at the main menu and just listened to the music for 10 minutes. Yeah, so good or bad, Halo games at least always have consistently good music for their main menus. And this Halo game is... the main menu for it is, like, not that bad. And, you know, it's pretty good. Something I also really like is the main menu feels like it's trying to establish an atmosphere, which is something Halo hasn't done in quite a while. They've always just been kind of like utilitarian with their main menus. I think of like the Halo Wars 2 main menu or the Halo 5 main menu where there wasn't really a lot going on creatively. This Halo main menu has an atmosphere to it. Like, just the in real time, real visuals combined with just the heavenly choir music. It's... Halo Infinite's got a good main menu so far. Where you going, son? Let's go up this way. Captured, alright. Is the grapple a good counter to the repulsor? I'm not sure. I'd imagine that you could probably use the grappling hook to, like, hoist yourself up to a ledge if you ever get thrown off. If that's what you mean. I don't really think there is much of a counter to the repulsor. It's more like one of those things where you've got to identify, like, the body design of the enemy and be like, oh no, I think that guy has a repulsor, I'm gonna stay away. Though, to be fair, there isn't much you can do if, like, that you run into a room and there's a guy who has a repulsor. You just gotta take the L, you know? Petition for this channel to become an actual aired late night show. Heisenberg is in here with a donation of $4.99 who says, half a stick of butter. So if you remember, Heisenberg, he was in here all the past streams, and I think he is slowly giving us the recipe for something, because he said egg. Then yesterday, it was 1/4 cup of flour. Today, it's half a stick of butter. So I'm very interested to see what it is that Heisenberg is giving us the ingredients to. Oh, Rebecca's texting me right now. She was talking to me, actually, about Heisenberg. She was like, I wonder what ingredient Heisenberg's gonna say today. So I'm texting her. Heisenberg said half a stick of butter. What? We're doing this map again? Why? I just want to do Behemoth. That guy has overshields. Oh, Heisenberg. You're probably watching the stream. Whoever you are, buddy. My girlfriend just responded. She's very happy. She was very excited to see what you would, what ingredient you would give us today. Have I seen the leaked Sentinel Beam footage? I have. The new Sentinel Beam model looks really cool. I don't quite like that the Sentinel Beam also reloads, because I think that's a little bit dull, like having all the guns kind of do the same thing. Because, like, plasma weapons, they all can reload too. You know, this kind of like vent ability. So it's like, it's a bit of that kind of like standardization, homogenization, where it's like all the guns kind of feel the same. But it's no big deal. The Sentinel Beam model looked really cool. I liked the beam of it. In general, 343 have been nailing the Forerunner weapons in this game. Like, you know, the floaties, they're gone. The Forerunners are back to looking like Forerunners, which, no complaints from me. Damn it. Somebody saying they changed when you look down, you cannot see your feet anymore. So they did not actually change that. They seem to have, so look, if we go down to 78, which is the FOV for Halo 5, you can see your feet again. But then once you go up, feet are gone. So that seems to be what they're doing. I hope that that's not like forever, you know, but if it is, that's okay. I wonder if something about the Halo engine kind of breaks at higher FOV, like your feet look kind of goofy. Whoa. What was that? Did you guys see that? What was that? Here, let's run this way. I think we talked in the past stream that this isn't really a needler, at least a traditional needler. In Halo Infinite, the needler fills more of an SMG role. The shots move too quickly for them to really function like a traditional needler, and when they home in, they zoom really fast, so it's more of an SMG in this game. Is this new map total clickbait? No, don't worry. I assumed that we'd be getting into the map, but we have not. So hopefully after this match is over, the next map will be... Maybe, does anybody know if I have to play a specific playlist? Pearl Commodore says, hi, I've been a fan for a while. Question, how are you playing the new map, and how does everyone have the new map and weapons and stuff? So, unfortunately, I am not playing the new map. We haven't gotten it yet in the matchmaking rotation. I am waiting on that, but everybody's getting the new weapons by using exploits. Damn it. Everyone's using exploits to get onto the new map. And they are exploits that involve a second person. Whoa. That was fun. Look, did you see that? He shoved me with the gravity hammer. It can affect friendlies, which is nice. Damn it. I'll take that grappling hook, and I will take that battle rifle. Oh boy. Here, let's get out of here. Oh. More Social Slayer. Behemoth is the best map in the flight. It's random, says somebody. Ah, got it. Okay, so basically we just have to keep playing and pray that we're going to get Behemoth. God, I miss map vetoing. I do miss map vetoing. Obviously, there are problems with map vetoing, but I think the pros outweigh the cons a little bit. Because maybe I don't want to play this map over and over again, you know? I want to try out Behemoth. Yeah! See that double kill? This game is very therapeutic to watch. I'm glad. I'm glad it is therapeutic to watch. Halo Infinite, for all of my issues currently with it, I think it is a great foundation for Halo, you know? It's definitely, I think, 343's best Halo game so far, and we've only played it for a little bit. And it's pretty exciting also to just see, like, other people excited about Halo again. I was watching Paul Tassi, who's a writer for Forbes, talking about his experiences with Halo Infinite. He's someone who straight up hated Halo 4 and strongly disliked Halo 5. And he was basically saying, like, he was like, they kind of, they did it, you know? It's not a classic Halo game, but it is enough Halo DNA to where I can like play it and hear the echoes of the Halo that I played as a kid in this game. And he's like, I'll probably play more. And I was like, that made me feel good, you know? Just hearing that, like hearing people be excited about Halo again. I don't know. I feel like Infinite feels more like Call of Duty than it does traditional Halo. It's definitely not traditional Halo. It is definitely not traditional Halo. And, you know, some of the movement stuff, you got your clamber, you've got your sprint, you've got your obligatory slide ability. You know, some of that stuff is just there because... But it's all... So for me, what kind of matters, I guess more so than the core mechanics, is how simplistic is the gameplay. Halo Infinite has pretty simplistic gameplay. There really is a not here at a base player level, not a lot here. But because the gameplay is so just kind of simplistic, there's a lot of room now for like, well, the gadgets now have to do the heavy lifting. So Halo to me has always been kind of about that like simplistic core gameplay, and because of that core gameplay not really doing a lot, you gotta find toys to make the engagements more interesting. And Halo Infinite seems to be doing that for the most part. So it's less about it literally being a traditional Halo game, which it's not, and it's more about it trying to evoke classic Halo. And at least off the bat, I think that they're doing a pretty fine job. Obviously, as we play more, I am confident that I'm going to find issues with the combat rhythm, but I feel like a lot of my issues can be solved via new Sandbox additions. You know, this isn't something like Halo 5 where it's like, oh god, like where do you start? Like this game's got so many issues kind of inherent to its design. I should have repulsed that guy. Ooh! Okay, let's back up. Hopefully we can bait him. Yeah. All right, let's catch up. Big fan late night. Notice me, says Rebecca. She is in the stream, my friends. Needs more Forge content. Yes, I agree. We do need new Forge content. Mauricio says he's playing the new map and it's good. That makes me excited. Okay, guys. Right now, let's bring our hands together. And let's pray to the Forerunners that we're gonna land on the new map, Behemoth. Oh, okay, we're connecting to a server. Please be Behemoth. Try capture the flag to get into the new map. Would you like to see a subcategory of gravity-based weapons on propelling and pulling objects and enemies? Yes, I would love to see something like that. Do clamber and slide take away from the core Halo experience to you? Just a bit. Just a little bit. Not enough to ruin the game for me, but just enough to where I'm like, this definitely isn't like the classic Halos that I grew up with. Yes! Oh, man. Guys. Oh my god, look, the Spartans. Their armor is dusty. Oh my god. Look how pretty this is! Holy cow. Look at this. This is gorgeous. Oh my god. There goes a warthog. Oh my god, this. Oh my god, I'm like really happy. I'm having such a Halo-y little moment right here. Ah! Let me get away! Okay, I'm gonna hide down here. Holy crap! Jeez. Look at this. I'm kind of like distracted right now. Oh my god, this is so... Eesh. I can't... This is... Okay, I'm at a loss for words, sorry. I'll capture this objective. Damn it. Yeah, wow, I'm at a loss for words. This is so weird, because I remember seeing the new Forerunner stuff in Halo 4 and being like, what is this? Like, these don't look like Forerunners. And then in Halo 5, the problem got even worse, and like making videos about this stuff. And I was confident I'd never see these designs again. That like, you know, the normal look for the Forerunners was going to be gone forever. But it's like, seeing these designs in like full 4K kind of, I mean, I'm not playing at 4K, but look at it. I recognize some of these grooves. But they're like properly modeled. Like back during the Bungie days, stuff like that was just a texture. And now they're actually part of the 3D floor. And look, you can see like dust and dirt and caught in it. Man. Man, 343's artists did good. Oh, there's a ghost over there. Did you see that? Not like a spooky ghost, but like a vehicle ghost. Halo's a pretty spooky game, but it's not like that spooky, you know? Give me this thing! Oh my god. Let's get going. Holy crap, this thing is cool. This thing looks so cool. Look at the way the, whatever that is, like the steam and stuff is being illuminated by the lights underneath the ghost. Yeah. Oh boy. And it's really weird seeing the ghost shooting out like red lasers, because I'm so used to the ghost being this blue thing. Yeah, red ghost is pretty cool. My frame rate is absolutely tanking on this map though, but this is pretty cool. Damn it. I wanted to grab. Ah, no! Somebody stole it. Okay. I wanted to grapple that skewer. Yeah, look how good these Forerunner environments look. Dude, it is, to quote the Didact, the Forerunners have returned. This time, though, they look like Forerunners. Yeah, the Forerunner weapons, the Forerunner environments. Here, let's actually... Oh, look, we're on a Halo ring. Holy crap. Look at that. What is that? Oh no! Look at this thing. You know what's taking me by surprise a little bit? So we've got our bases that we spawn at. I just realized that they're not, like, it's not two individual Forerunner bases. This thing is so large that both of our spawns are part of the same structure. This is just a gigantic, monolithic Forerunner structure that is buried beneath the sand, and just the tip of it is poking out of the sand. Just the tip. Yeah, look, it goes down deeper. So there's more that we can't see. This is a cool map. Oh, no. Damn it, they have a ghost. Can we get to the top of the structure? I don't know. I guess we'd need like a vehicle of some kind, right? Oh, look in there. There, you have those ribs that I guess Halo 3 added. Because with Halo 3, you get a little bit more complexity. And part of the detail was, so for those of you who don't know, this type of structure, this is called brutalism. This kind of aesthetic, these kind of like harsh angles and very blocky, angular designs. Like, this is called brutalism. Ironically, the brutes actually are not very brutalist in their architecture. And so with brutalism, the problem about it is you can't really add a lot to it, because you can't really make round brutalist structures, otherwise you start to get away from what brutalism is as a design philosophy. So Bungie, in Halo 3, started adding what are like basically ribs almost to some of their Forerunner structures, because they could add more detail, but they wanted to make sure that it still looked Forerunner-y. So they started adding these rib things. And it's like, they're back! 343 added them. 343 really kind of like redesigned the Forerunners to look almost like techno-organic, where it felt almost like living metal, and it kind of got away from that brutalism. And then Halo 5 went even further down that rabbit hole. You know, adding silly monster faces. People are saying no Forge at launch is a travesty. I completely agree. I have seen some people defending no Forge at launch. I am sure the reason that Forge is not launching is because it is not in an acceptable state. Whether that be, like, literally the mechanical usage of Forge or the way it's integrated into the game and, like, file share and everything. I'm sure there is a good reason why they delayed it. But what I take a lot of issue with is that the planning was at the point where Forge could not launch with the game. Like, that kind of stuff behind the scenes should have been planned better. The managers after Halo 5, they should have known not to do that again. So the fact that mistakes were repeated is very disappointing. Can I just ask how people are playing BTB? People are not playing BTB. We are playing currently 4v4, Capture the Flag. This is the first Halo Slayer, like, 4v4 map in forever. Do you guys hear that choir? There's, like, this ambient choir playing. Did you see that? I launched that guy far away. Yeah. Here, let's use a Warthog. Let's get into the turret. Oh. Ew. Do you see that? Look, the turret barely moves. The Spartan just vibrates his arms. And then that sound. That is a... I hope that that's just unfinished. I gotta say, the handling for the Warthogs feels pretty cool. Whoa! Holy moly! Was that a skewer? How did the vehicles feel late night? Yeah, talking about the vehicles, that thing felt pretty cool to drive. It's hard to explain. It doesn't feel like how Halo vehicles usually drive. That thing felt almost like there was a pinch of GTA vehicles in there. There was just a bit of weight to the vehicle. It's kind of hard to explain. I'm sure you guys will understand what I'm talking about when you finally play it, but look at this. Okay. Oh, look, there's another one off in the distance. Are these monoliths all part of this? Like that down there, is that some kind of generator? And these monolithic structures that are poking out of the ground, do they serve some kind of utility? Because look, do you see it's generating energy? And I wonder if it's lining the entire ring. Like if you were to follow it, it would line the entire surface of the ring. I wonder if these structures serve some kind of like energy utility to keep the ring operational. Weapon sounds, the best and worst so far. The best weapon sounds, I think the skewer has the best sound so far, or the most creative, I should say. It sounds really good. I don't know, there aren't really any weapon sounds that I strongly dislike. They all sound really good. Maybe, you know what? The hammer sounds pretty awful. The rocket launcher as well, but those are, you know, not that crazy. I see someone asking again, do we have special access to this map, or is it available for everyone? It is available for everyone. Everyone should be able to play. Just hop into social matchmaking and you'll be good to go. Ah, great. Playing this map. Here, let's turn up the hit marker sounds a little bit. I've been muting them, but I will give them a go. I'll listen to them. I think the biggest issue currently with the flight is, well, like the grenade spam, because there is no penalty for spamming grenades. There's no friendly fire, so you don't need to worry about it. So people are kind of encouraged to just spam grenades. And then also you've got like the assault rifle, which is just a fully automatic battle rifle, which is kind of like, you know, for all the crap that people give the battle rifle in Halo 3, making the battle rifle fully automatic, I think, is even worse for the combat loop. The range of this thing needs to be toned down a lot, because there isn't a lot of breathing room when people are constantly peppering you at a range. Oh boy. I'm about to lose this thing, am I? Yep, there we go. Hit markers are Pavlovian. Hit markers, I get why they exist. It's there for, like, positive reinforcement, you know? It's like, think of, like, Modern Warfare 2. Like that, like, you know, every time you get a hit. Like, that's pretty addictive. Which is why Call of Duty does it. But I do think that Halo never really needed hit markers. I think what it could have done, actually, is have diegetic hit marker sounds that are in-world. Like, every time you land a shot on somebody, you know, like, have their energy shield crackle. Here, let's get up there. I'm gonna throw a grenade up there. Someone's gonna try to come down here, I think. See, I'm moving right now to bait him. Yeah, there we go. Hey, buddy, how you doing? Sometimes that is fun, because you know they're going to be looking at their motion tracker, so just start baiting them by moving around in circles like, hey, come down here, come down here. And then they do, and that's when you get the drop on them. Can I download this on my normal Xbox One? Yes, Halo Infinite is a cross-generation game. You can play it on the Xbox One. And it looks pretty good on the Xbox One. Come on. There we go. We're sneaking. That's why I'm being quiet. Oh boy. No? Okay. Sorry, I'm in concentration mode. I like the heat wave and I don't want to lose it. There we go. Damn it! Okay. What are your thoughts on the Battlefield-esque level destruction in Halo multiplayer? I think it could make for greater variety in games. I think it depends, ultimately. In Big Team Battle, yes, I would love to see that, because it would give even more reason for the gravity hammer to have gravity manipulation abilities. It would also, the idea of, like, level manipulation, it opens up the door for more weapon types to be added that are less around, you know, just killing a guy and more around, like, modifying the environment. You know? Encouraging sandbox interaction. Just more of it. I'd be all for that. You'd obviously have to design some maps that are a little bit more static, because I think the esports players would not be fans. And for all the people that are like, you know, oh, screw what the esports players say, they're paid to play the game competitively, you know? It is important to listen to them, because if the game isn't fun, they're just going to move on to Call of Duty. And I think Halo, the sandbox focus, makes Halo modular enough that it can have room to be either casual or competitive. The problem that made Halo 5 not very casual friendly was that, well, it decided to attach skill to the player. Like, the core of the game was player abilities. It wasn't the sandbox. So you can't do a lot of, like, modifying the way the game plays when it's core player abilities. Otherwise, people will be confused when they're jumping from playlist to playlist. But, with Halo 3, you know, the difference between social Slayer and competitive Slayer is, do you have a battle rifle or do you have an assault rifle? Halo can be both. Pacific Blue says, please read my comment, friend. What do you think about the shock rifle? I saw some clips and I think it's awesome. Yeah, the shock rifle's pretty cool. I'm not sure how it would fit into, like, Slayer or 4v4, but I don't think every weapon needs to. I think it'll work quite well in Big Team Battle and especially the campaign, because it seems designed more for long range. Oops, I accidentally hit my... Here, let's go up here. Oh, we won. Nice. Spartan is saying change the HUD back to normal. No! No! Do you mean, like, give my friendlies red? Or blue outlines? Because I can't play well when I've got all my HUD elements in the itty-bitty corners of the screen. I need them squished up a little bit near my crosshair. That way they're in my peripheral vision. They should let us change the design of our HUD. I know there's no use for it, but it could be cool. No, I think there's use in being able to design your HUD. We talked about this yesterday, actually, in a competitive shooter. So in a competitive shooter, microseconds matter. They can be the deciding... Oh my god, we're playing this map again. Okay, fine, sure. They can be the deciding factor in if a game is won or lost. And so having a HUD where you move your eyes as little as possible is good. Like one glance and you have all the information you need. What was good about having both your equipment, like your loadout kit, and your health at the top of the screen is that is directly above the enemy you're firing at. So you're looking at an enemy, you're shooting him, you know, like this, and then just look at the top of the screen. Okay, that's my health situation, and you can see your ammo in the peripheral. One eye glance, and you got everything you need. Putting, like what Halo Infinite is kind of doing, scattering everything all over the HUD, that takes more eye movements to see what your information is. You're going to have to look at the top of the screen to see your health. Your eye is now too far away from your tactical info for it to be within the peripherals of your vision, so now you got to move your eye all the way down to the bottom of the screen. If you were taking damage while you were doing that, any info you just gleaned from how your health is doing, that's outdated now. So it's like your eye is being dragged all over the screen and nothing is condensed, and it's subtle, but it does require more eye movements to get a feel for how you're doing tactically. And it's a change that I don't really appreciate. I believe that was actually a big reason why, with Halo 2, Bungie put the health above the radar, but then with Halo 3, they moved it back, because they realized it was actually better on the players to have, like, their health situated next to their ammo. Because all they need is one glance, and they know how their health is and what their ammo and equipment situation is. It is all preference, though. You know, some people actually don't mind that, or they don't think it affects them, so letting people customize their HUD is, like, the best option. Damn it. Robbie says, not sure if you're a Metroid fan, but I would like to see you tackle Dread. So I am not a Metroid fan yet. Metroid Dread I'm actually looking forward to quite a bit, and... because of that, I actually really want to get into the Metroid series, what it's all about. And so I'm curious about which one to start with. Rebecca says that she likes a question. Late Night, you're more than just a guy who talks about Halo. Tell me about your views on life. What do you think it all means? My views on life? So, okay. This is my opinion... as a 20-something-year-old. My views on life, I think, like, why we exist and what the kind of goal is. I think the goal to life, what makes a successful life, is if you can leave memories. The memories don't need to be permanent, but they have to last a while. Basically, like, when you die, people will remember that. They'll remember things that you've done. And, like, you'll be missed. It doesn't need to be permanent, but you should be missed. So I think ultimately your goals in life are to, you know, create that kind of legacy that you're remembered for. And it doesn't need to be like curing cancer or whatever. It can be as simple as like, yeah, he did a lot of work in his neighborhood. His neighbors loved him. He was always very friendly, you know, or like that person sold some amazing stuff. Like, artistically, they were incredible. That's what I think is the goal to life. You know, however it is, try to leave a legacy for yourself. Because ultimately, the goal for most organisms is to survive and reproduce. But humans are a little bit, like, we're a little bit more sophisticated, you know? We're not surviving in the wild anymore. We've got cultures and stuff. We don't need to survive and fight for our lives anymore. So we have to kind of discover a new reason for being, and I think that might be what that new reason is. But there we go. What you're saying is leaving a legacy gives meaning to life. Yeah, because, I mean, it also depends, I think, on the person, you know? For me, I'm somebody where I would like to leave memories. You know, I'd like my absence to be felt. But there are some people where they are very content with just basically living for themselves. And I think there's value to that, you know, just vibing. Where they don't worry too much about if they're missed. Like, they felt like they had a good life. I feel like almost like you'd want to die tired, basically. That's how you know that you've lived a good life, is when you are ready. Oh boy. It's a little bit more nuanced than that, and remember, also, I am only a 20-something-year-old, so I've still got lessons about life that I'm gonna learn for myself, you know? There's a lot more I need to experience. The meaning to life is to exercise your eyeballs. Yes, exactly. That's actually way better than I said. Exercise your eyeballs. Let's go this way. Oh no! We're starting to spam a little bit. Did you see that? I was trying to, like, line up that guy's shots cleanly. I think I just saw somebody who was cloaked over here. There we go. Oh boy! Rebecca says my absence will be extremely felt. See, and that's good for me. That's, that makes me happy. Now, thankfully, I'm not gonna die anytime soon. So I've got a lot more legacy to leave behind. Now, as we talk about existentialism, let us kill these enemy players. Somebody's saying, you gotta put muscles on your eyeballs, bro. Yeah! Gotta hit the gym. Is the library like the equivalent of the gym, but for your eyeballs? Can your eyeballs get, getting gains? Have you tried messing with the HUD placement, with the weapon placement in the HUD settings yet? I recommend 100, 0, plus 100. We will give that a try. You and Rebecca are very cute together, says Connor R. Yeah, we are pretty cute, aren't we? Rebecca's pretty friggin' sweet, I must say. And she was always like that, even in middle school. That's where we actually met. So Rebecca and I, we grew up before, like, the smartphones and stuff like that, where your phone is more or less essential now. You know, it's kind of evolved beyond just a standard communications device. Like, it is a multi-purpose tool. Like, one could argue that modern phones aren't really phones. They're tiny computers now that you carry around. So basically, when Rebecca and I were growing up, phones were mostly for texting. And because my parents were responsible, they would take my phone at night and they put it away because it's like no texting. Well, what would happen was I would wait till they were asleep and then I'd just go sneak my phone from them so that I could text Rebecca more, and then I wouldn't sleep all night and I'd be very tired in school the next day. Yeah, she's pretty sweet. Oh boy. Hey, buddy! Here, let me get into the back of this warthog. Alright, let's go. Let's go, let's go, let's go! Oh, no. Okay. The biggest poop I've ever had. Huh. I'm gonna have to think about that, because, you know, a human being poops quite a bit in their life. So the biggest poop that I've ever had, that's a mighty big question you're asking, friend. Those dynamo grenades are so cool. A lot of the electricity weapons in the game so far are greatly impressing me. It's like, this is the stuff where I say, like, even though I have gripes, I think this is the right direction for Halo. Like, 343 is getting it. And some of the things that they're doing feel more like design decisions due to just the modern state of gaming, where, you know, you gotta answer to investors, so you can't do a lot of risk. You can't take a lot of risks. Question, do you think attachments for weapons works with the Halo Sandbox, or do you think it would mess up the balancing? I think it would mess up the balancing. Halo is not really that game like Call of Duty, where you just, like the this is my rifle type of game, where you just find the gun you like and put attachments on it till it plays how you would like it to play. I think attachments inherently make you assign more value to a certain weapon and discourage you getting rid of that weapon. You want to try to hold on to it as long as you can because you like the attachment and you like the way it plays. There are weapons like that in Halo, but those are mostly like the power weapons and stuff. For weapons kind of like a battle rifle or a SMG or an assault rifle, you shouldn't want to just have those weapons forever. You know, you should feel like, oh, I found a different weapon, I should use this, or like, uh-oh, I'm going up against somebody with shields, I need to get a plasma weapon, but I have a laser sight on my AR, I think I'm gonna keep the AR. I mean, you don't need a laser sight in this game for the assault rifle. It's already got so much range. Come here, buddy. This is my ghost now. Holy moly. Did you see how many shots he ate? Let's go after this guy. I was trying to kill him. Oh! Give me this back. What do you think you're doing? We're returning the flag. Alright, flag returned. Let's go this way. Sorry, I am having a lot of fun in the ghost. Do I like the sounds of the weapons? I do. In general, I think the sound design is really strong for this game. The ghost sounds very weird, but what I appreciate is that it's at least pew-pewy. You know, it sounds like a laser gun. It's got that kind of like cartoon laser gun sound, and I think that's important for laser weapons in Halo. Like, one of my biggest issues with the 343 games, it's funny, it's different from a lot of other people. A lot of people complain that 343 guns sound too pew-pewy, the laser guns, and I actually have the opposite issue. I don't think they sound very pew-pewy at all. I think the Bungie ones sound very pew-pewy, because they use, like, laser stock sound effects. And I want the plasma weapons to sound more like that. These are laser guns. I think of, do you remember the, plasma pistol in Halo 5? It was like this weird, like, electrical zzz, zzz, zzz every time you fired it, and I'm like, what is this? This doesn't sound like a pew-pew laser gun. Can I get up here? Oh, man. Look where we are. Damn it! Okay, you know what? That was worth it. That was fun. Somebody says, I've always felt this is my rifle with certain weapons anyway, so I don't think it would be pushed any further with certain attachments. How they worked in Halo 5 with variants was fine. See, I actually think the variants of Halo 5 was awful. That was a really bad idea, and I'm glad Warzone is not returning. I don't think that was very Halo-y at all. You know? Like, you have 17 assault rifles that have minor stat adjustments. Like, at what point does the assault rifle just stop being the assault rifle? It just has no identity. Some assault rifles have laser sights. Some have a battle rifle scope on them. It's just... the guns have, like, no identity. It's like Call of Duty. You're just, like, finding the attachments you like and making the gun play how you want it to play. I don't think variants are the way to go for Halo. That's not very Halo-y to me. So I'm glad that, like, Warzone is gone and that they're going back to big team battle. I think if you like that kind of game, I think that's absolutely fine. But I think for the mainline Halos, that's not really how you make a Halo game. That's not the kind of game that Halo is. You know, Halo is more about these, like, cartoonishly different weapons from each other. Like, every weapon is extremely unique and different from another one, and they all fill very specific roles. I don't think you take a weapon and make it into the role you want it to be. People want variety in a shooter. Who would use the one gun with no variety over and over? Give people variety with their rifles, for God's sake. I assume you're talking about Halo, to which case I'd say, wouldn't just finding the rifle you like and giving it attachments so you could use that one rifle over and over, isn't that just what you said? Wouldn't it be more variety if people had to use different weapons for different roles? Because Halo 5 was kind of a one-gun game, at least in Warzone. Find the Warzone variant that you really like, just stick with that. You know? I like the battle rifle. But I don't like the attachment on the battle rifle, so I put attachments that I want, and I don't really need to use anything else. There's no reason to. I like the attachments I put on my gun. That seems kind of more like a one-gun game to me than a game with defined weapon roles, where it's like, I like the battle rifle, but I can't use it in this context. I need to find a better weapon to suit my purpose. Can I grab? Yes! Okay. That was pretty cool. Late night, what is your favorite type of music? So, Rebecca has actually asked me this too, and I've struggled to answer to her as well. Because, okay, years and years of editing. Here's something you need to understand. As a YouTuber, there is always a nugget of my brain that is basically thinking of, how can I use this in a video or whatever. So, for me, the kind of music I really like actually is lyric-less music. For the purpose of content creation. You know, lyrics are distracting when I'm making a video, so I listen to a lot of soundtracks, musicscapes, and stuff, because also, if I like that song, hey, I could use that in a video, and there's no lyrics to get in the way. Now, that being said, I do like some, you know, songs with lyrics. Obviously, I'm not like a psychopath, and I tend not to actually have a favorite genre. I don't even have a favorite band. I guess I like individual songs better. Like Red Hot Chili Peppers, I like 2 songs from them. And those are really the only songs I need. Three Doors Down, I like 1 or 2 songs from them. Same with My Chemical Romance. But then even there's like Johnny Cash. Like, it basically, I don't like genres or anything. I just like songs from artists. And I've got favorite songs from all across the spectrum. I got my favorite hip-hop songs. I got my favorite rock songs. I've got my favorite lo-fi songs. Yeah, I'm not really chained to a specific genre of music. Liam says, I thought the power weapon variants were cool. They could experiment more, like the Answer as an example. See, the Answer is actually another gun that I didn't like, because, so to me, the weapon variants were at their best when they were creative. To me, the Answer is just Saw, but gooder. And I think that that's very boring. It's like, oh, so it's just the Saw, but it kills better. That's not really creative to me. What is creative to me, though, was the Void's Tear, that plasma pistol. That was more interesting, because it wasn't just plasma pistol, but gooder. It was actually something incredibly different in terms of its usage. So I'd like, actually, if Halo maybe get rid of the weapon variants and stuff. Like, hey, look, we made this gun do more damage and then gave it a red coating. It's now the Answer or something. I'd prefer if you take stuff like the Void's Tear, where mechanically it is different from the plasma pistol. Don't just repaint the plasma pistol. Give it its own weapon. Give it its own name. Like, I feel like some of Halo 5's most interesting weapons suffer because they're locked to being a variant of another gun. Make a new gun out of this. This is interesting enough of an idea. You know? Saw but gooder needs to be the tagline for the weapon. Yeah, and also remember, Halo 5 had loot boxes, so by design, a lot of weapons had to be gun, but gooder, because there was real-life money value assigned to those. You had to get your money's worth out of them. If you're gambling on the loot boxes and you get like a trash weapon that, in the lethality economy of Halo 5, didn't kill good enough, like, you're gonna feel like you wasted your money. So a lot of those weapons had to be gun, but gooder, because you spent money on it. It's gotta be, you know, you gotta drop $3 and then go on a killing spree in Warzone with it to feel like you got your money's worth. Yeah, that Nornfang sniper. Sniper, but gooder. The Saw, but gooder. rocket launcher, but gooder. Like, so many of the variants were so boring in Halo 5. So boring. And I feel like the rec system did restrict how creative they could be, because you had to feel like you could buy a weapon and then go on a killing spree with it. Taco Dealer says, why did 343 ruin the plasma pistol? Should these developers be purged? Why are they so incompetent and making a what? Okay, Taco Dealer, my buddy, what do you mean by ruined the plasma pistol? What do you mean by purged? It's a video game, my guy. Those are some strong emotions you're feeling about a video game. Those should be, like, reserved for, like, your local politician if you feel like they're doing something that's negatively affecting your life. Like, my guy, these are video game developers. Overshields need to be green. Yeah, I noticed that they, every time that we play the flight or see the overshield behind the scenes, you can tell that that overshield is causing a lot of problems. They're really having to spend a lot of time balancing the overshield, creating new effects for it, because the effects aren't big enough, tuning the application time, tuning the damage, how fast it drills. Like, a lot of work is going into balancing the overshields because they made the change that you can now keep it in your pocket. It's one of those things where I'm of the opinion that the overshield mechanically was not the most interesting thing on planet Earth. In fact, it was pretty kind of like bland. But this change doesn't make it more mechanically interesting. I think it actually makes it a little bit more frustrating to deal with now, because a player can carry it and activate it wherever they want, as opposed to generally knowing that a player will always have it from this specific area, and from that area it'll start draining. Like, it's more controlled, whereas now it's a bit uncontrollable. And you can see that a lot of development time is going into checks and balances for it as a utility. And it's almost like, man, a lot of that time and energy you guys are putting into balancing this thing could have been saved if you just didn't make it play that way. Battle rifle is perfect in my opinion. Yeah, this battle rifle is cool, right? The sound for it, the design of it. The reload animation, I do think, is a bit stiff. Like, this one looks cool. But the full... Here. I'm gonna look like a psycho doing this, but... Look at this. That's a very stiff-looking reload. I can't quite put my finger on what it is, but... There we go. I saw that guy looking down the sights at me, so I had to make sure that the hood of the ghost was facing him so I didn't eat that skewer shot. Taco Dealer says, plasma doesn't EMP. Purge equals fire and blacklisted. Whoa, fire and blacklisted. Okay, so... Do you think... I'll put it this way. The animators, should they be fired? Not just fired, blacklisted. Like, they will never be allowed to get a career in the game industry. So... They're gonna have to go to college to learn new skills and stuff, because now can't work on a video game because of this. So the animators, they're gone. What about the lighting engineers and stuff? The people who are responsible for the reflectivity and tweaking and balancing that. Should they also be fired and blacklisted? The designers and balancers, should they also not just be fired, but blacklisted from ever working on a game? You hear me? It's a bit of an extreme overreaction to what is essentially like a weapon changing. I don't like that the plasma pistol doesn't EMP anymore, because I think that was probably done just to justify the existence of these arc weapons. But firing and blacklisting? I just disagree with the design decision, my guy. At the end of the day, video game developers, they do go home to their apartments or their kids or their families or their partners, like, you know? They can make a design decision you disagree with, and it's important to articulate why you think it was not good as a decision. You don't just flat out say, like, I hope you are blacklisted. You reserve that for, like, somebody like Randy Pitchford, who is just a garbage human. You know, but when it comes to balancing and tweaking that you personally disagree with, such an emotional, visceral, angry response to them is a bit extreme. It's like the people who worked on Halo 5's story, you know? I just didn't like the story. I don't wish them harm, though, like that, like financial and job harm. I want them to be able to pay the bills too, you know? And the problem also is, as a game developer, when you read feedback like that, they're gonna think that you're just a troll. Because they're gonna be like, that is such a bizarrely emotional response to this balancing tweak that I did. This person is not serious. Moving on. As opposed to if you articulated clearly why this change does not actually benefit Halo and why the old way was better. Then the developer is able to analyze that, turn it into data, and actually say, you know what, I think this person might have been right. Because it's also their job to make the most fun video game. So if they're wrong about a balanced design decision, it's important to persuade them and show them why they were just incorrect in their choice made. Think of it like the art style debates for Halo 5. They saw not just community feedback, there was a literal reason, like the brand was losing its recognizability with that Reclaimer art style. There was a reason to change it back. They could put that into data, and they did change it back, and you know what? Halo Infinite's doing pretty good right now with the art style changes. The game's a lot more readable, so it's also benefiting gameplay. If we just said, your game is ugly, I hope you lose your job. That's not feedback that they can use. And something also to consider, my last point on that topic is that you are one of many voices angrily screaming into the void. Developers have to comb through forums where that kind of insult is irregular. So they've kind of trained themselves to ignore stuff like that because there's not actually anything of value there, and try to look for the one person who is actually articulating why they don't like it, why mechanically they think it is a detriment. Oh boy. The shock rifle. Okay. Wait. Here, let's get out of here. Oh my god, we lost. Holy crap. This thing's hard to control right now. It's like steering. It's like... That's cool. Because I lost the thruster, it's like tilting a little bit. It's a little bit hard to steer this thing. Oh no. BR battle. Did you see that? We were both shooting BRs at each other, and that was actually a pretty fun fight because we were predicting each other's bursts and sidestepping when we expected a burst to come. If that was an assault rifle battle, we wouldn't have been able to predict our firing patterns, so the match would have basically been devolved into a slot machine, see who can land the most amount of shots randomly. That's kind of why I think the BR has more depth to it at a long range, because there is actual skill involved. Man, that skewer shot sounds cool. Let's see. G's Tanks says, "Hey, Late Night, thanks for the content over the years. It's been consistently a great choice. Study, work on aquariums, or relax too. They've greatly expanded my ability to appreciate games and film." Dude, I really appreciate that. I'm thankful that my content has been giving you that kind of enjoyment, man. That's also part of why I am going to be... I'm doing the thing that everyone does where I'm starting a podcast. If you check the description, there is a second channel. Whoa. That you guys should subscribe to, maybe. I'm going to be uploading a weekly or bi-weekly podcast on there. Sometimes it will be Halo-themed, sometimes not. But, hopefully you guys can go check that out. It's... I don't know if I should call it podcastrophe. Or if there is a better and more Halo-y sounding name. Or, Late Night Gaming-y name. I'd actually like to hear suggestions from you guys, but basically it's for that. People like hearing my opinions, so why not literally invent a reason to give my opinions constantly for you guys to listen to? Question, Late Night Gaming. Do you like the design of the Sidekick, or do you think the Magnum should come back? It looks weak to me, even though it does its job well in the Sandbox. So when the Sidekick was first revealed, I actually did not like the look of it that much. I thought it looked like a gun kind of ripped out of Modern Warfare. And that's not bad, you know? Modern Warfare is supposed to kind of look like a modern military. It's supposed to have a lot of, like, generic guns. But in Halo, the guns should look kind of iconic on their own. They should have like a defined original silhouette, and the Sidekick did not have that. That being said, the new redesign for the Sidekick I am a big fan of. I like that it kind of looks like a space USP-45. I'm a big fan of the new Sidekick model. I like it quite a bit. It's gone quite a way to make me actually like the gun, you know? I'm now kind of like, you know what? I'm okay with accepting a new friend into the Halo pistol family. You know, come on, buddy. Come on, get in here, Sidekick. You're one of us now. I would like to see the Magnum back, though. Now that kind of brings us on to the point, what role should the Magnum have when it does come back? What game should the Magnum take after, mechanically? Aesthetically, I would like it to look like the Halo 3 Magnum. The reason I say the Halo 3 Magnum is because the Halo 3 Magnum is essentially a high-quality recreation of the Combat Evolved Magnum. That's kind of my definitive look for the Magnum. The Reach Magnum, it still looks like a Magnum, but it's starting to drift a little bit. The Halo 4 Magnum is like, oh no, what's happening? Where'd the little yellow dots on the back of you go? Where's the red thing? And then the Halo 5 Magnum is like, stop, please. What are you doing to my baby? I think it speaks to how good of a recreation the Halo 3 Magnum was, that they used it as the Magnum model for Combat Evolved Anniversary. Uh-oh, the bot is back? Everyone, is the bot back? That's one thing I don't get. Halo fans get so up in arms when a new game isn't the same thing as what they've been playing for 10 years. I'm personally a huge fan of the new stuff. I think that in some cases, it can be, like, kind of like, it's okay, you know? It's okay that, like, an old thing isn't back. Like, the fuel rod gun, as an example. It's like, we haven't seen that thing so far, and it's kind of okay. You know, the fuel rod gun, its role wasn't really that special. It was more for the Covenant in the campaign. But, stuff like the shotgun is where I am actually like, no, that was more than just an aesthetic. Mechanically, the shotgun had a very important role to fill in the combat loop. A insta-kill shell-loading shotgun up close. You know, that is an important role to fill. And the fact that it's not gone, I think its absence... Obviously, the shotgun was a cool-looking thing with its glowing sights, but also just for role's sake. Its absence is felt in this game, I will say. But it is definitely a bit of a tricky balance. Stuff like the Magnum, I'm like, you know what? They redesigned the sidekick. It doesn't look too shabby now. So, I miss the look of the Magnum, but, you know, this little baby's trying hard. It's doing okay. So I can kind of miss the Magnum, because even, like, its role, you know, isn't well-defined. The Magnum serves, like, a different role every single game it's in. But stuff like the shotgun, I am more like, that thing should come back ASAP. Halo does benefit from having a shell-loading shotgun. And I don't think the heat wave is that role. The heat wave is something very different. It does shell load like a shotgun, but the heat wave I would not call, you know, the Halo shotgun. Do you have any tips for using the battle rifle? For using the battle rifle? Do you struggle a little bit with it? Oh man, I thought I had a repulsor. Oh, I missed a super chat, somebody said. Taco Dealer. Oh, he's back. He says, sorry for the rage. So sick of 343's changes. Something that I would say, Taco, is identify what it is you don't like about the changes. Because I don't deny that you do not like the changes. If you can articulate what it is about them, whether it is aesthetic, because believe me, there is aesthetic presentation I do think has value. You know, for all the people who said, who cares about the design? Gameplay matters. Like, we're not going to say that, all right? That's lazy. There is a purpose to aesthetic presentation and stuff. So figure out, basically, is your issue mechanics or aesthetic presentation or even audio presentation? Like, really figure out what it is. Because I do believe that you have issues with some of the changes. Figure out what they are, and then we can have a conversation about them. Because I do actually have similar issues, like the plasma pistol. It's kind of like the gravity hammer, getting a lot of its gravity manipulation abilities removed so that the repulsor can exist. Where that seems almost like backwards game design to me. You know, nerfing a thing so that another thing has a reason to exist. And same with the, you know, the plasma pistol. This is the first plasma pistol since Halo 2 that doesn't have its EMP ability. It's kind of strange. Uber says, I feel like there's so much good in this game that gets overlooked and a couple bad things that get the attention. That definitely is the case. So Halo Infinite, I've got a lot of problems right now with it. You know what's cool, though? None of my problems are really with the core structure of the game. So the plasma pistol not having an EMP ability, 343 could bring back a Reach plasma pistol that does EMP. The assault rifle being way too accurate. 343 could add a Halo Reach style assault rifle. I mean, not just aesthetic, but mechanic wise, you know, or a combat evolved one that is more close range. Basically, whatever complaints I have, 343 can patch in new variants of those guns. This isn't like Halo 5 where it's like, oh god, you know, this is kind of unfixable. Shrimpy says, how do you feel about the progression system? I was optimistic, but it honestly feels like such a slog, and I feel like I'm wasting time when I don't get XP. Yeah. The fact that the game is not giving you XP for playing it, it is giving you for XP for marking off a couple of checklists. I do feel like that's going to negatively harm. It's going to be kind of like the MCC situation, where you feel kind of like, why should I play the campaign? I'm not going to get any XP for it. I should go grind multiplayer. And then once you've done all your challenges, why should I play more? Like, I feel like I'm just going to burn myself out, and then when the challenges do refresh and there's a chance that I can earn some stuff, I'm not going to want to because I played too much. Nande Z says, how will you rebalance the assault rifle if the SMG already exists? Yeah, that's a problem, isn't it? The problem with the SMG is that it is kind of the assault rifle. To the point that that's why Bungie designed the SMG for Halo 2. They wanted to make a gun that was more, like, aesthetically representative of what people felt the assault rifle was. And, it's tricky. What I would probably do is I would make the SMG permanently dual-wielded. So, like, you see an SMG lying on the ground, you hold down the button to pick it up, and now you just have two guns in your hands. And it's always two guns. And so its gimmick, what makes it special, is that it has a lot of spread, like a lot of bloom, but you can individually fire each one. And then how I would balance the assault rifle is I would balance it more with the idea of, so Combat Evolved's assault rifle had the fastest melee speed of any weapon in the game. So if you ever needed to rapidly melee people in Halo CE's campaign or the multiplayer, stick with the assault rifle. You're going to be able to do the fastest damage with that thing. So combine that with the assault rifle's ability to, you know, lay down a lot of fire. I would lean into that a little bit more. Let's speed up the assault rifle's physical handling. Let's, you know, you switch to it fast. You melee with it fast. Make it this ultimate close-range utility weapon. Taco Dealer says, stripping mechanics from A to justify B is my big issue. I'd also rather have every Halo gun for the sake of customs, party game's sake. Love your work. Yeah, see, Taco Dealer, I agree with you. I don't like the idea of stripping mechanics from A just to justify B's existence. I agree with you there. That is a problem, I think. And I would actually like to see every Halo gun ever for the sake of custom games. And something I'd also like is, don't worry too much about balancing. Like, let's have every gun from every Halo game and have them work just like they did in those games. Even if they're useless, it's important that they work exactly like they did, because then you can even replicate combat loops from previous games in Halo Infinite Customs. Or you could even merge combat loops. Could you imagine having the Halo 2 battle rifle, but the Combat Evolved plasma rifle in there instead of the Halo 2 plasma rifle? Like, you could make your ultimate Halo Sandbox experience. It would give you the most freedom to create what you think is the perfect Halo game. Like, don't worry about if they're overpowered or whatever, or underpowered, whatever. Just don't put them in matchmaking maps. Leave them in Forge for customs. Not everything needs to be on every map. Mysterious Vagabond says, use this money for a rocket launcher evolution video. Thank you so much, Mystery Vagabond. I will. The rocket launcher is a hard weapon to talk about because, you know, it's not the most mechanically in-depth weapon. It's just a, like... It's just a rocket launcher, but there is a lot to talk about aesthetically and even like kind of like its legacy. Something that's kind of interesting is the Halo 5 rocket launcher. So 343, when they were outlining the Reclaimer saga, starting with Halo 4, Bungie, they were, from what I understand, they did get Bungie's notes on their original Halo 4 idea, which was supposed to merge the Marathon IP with the Halo IP properly, like kind of directly reference Marathon and kind of set it up. Like it was almost going to be a soft remake of Marathon. So this is all like, I can't confirm this, you know, I've just heard from people who I trust, but obviously they're not, you know, we're all people. But from what I understand, they did get those notes from when Bungie was thinking about taking Halo in that direction with their Halo 4. And so when I see the Halo 5's rocket launcher, it looks suspiciously, weirdly like the Halo 2 Marathon rocket launcher. Like, it looks a lot like the Halo 2 Marathon rocket launcher. And it just makes me think. Louis Bill says, time to kill is my biggest issue. It just feels way too fast and one note and one dimensional. If you shoot you first, then if they shoot you first, then you die first, just like Call of Duty. Yeah, the time to kill is a little bit crazy in this game. I described it kind of like the assault rifle. It's kind of like there isn't a lot of skill using the assault rifle. It's a very easy gun to just get kills with at any range, and I think part of that is because it has range now, and it has accuracy, and it has a headshot multiplier. So essentially, it's a roulette wheel of damage. Some shots hit the head, some don't. Who cares? Hold down the trigger and just keep doing it until that player is dead. There isn't a lot of skill work. There isn't a lot of, like there. A lot of those shots missed the head, where previously some did hit the head. So it is a bit up in the air as to if my shots are going to hit. And it just provides a very kind of inconsistent and messy experience for most people. I feel like Halo plays healthier when the autos are reined in a little bit more, because for all of the battle rifles issues, or people that have issues with the battle rifle, at least you always knew the firing pattern of the weapon. It wasn't unpredictable. You could predict the ba-da-ba, 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 and sidestep around that. Where this, you know, it's just... it can be literally any burst. 5 burst, 3 burst, 4 burst. Malik says, first-person passenger in Warthog be added, like Combat Evolved. That would actually be cool. I'd like that a lot, actually. The only issue I could see is, like, camera. Like, camera controls. Would it feel comfortable, you know, to have your camera bouncing and bobbling around? But for me, I personally didn't really care, just because I thought it was, like, a lot of fun. I'd love an option. Like, yes, this is inconvenient to me, gameplay-wise. I don't care. Ah, man. Something I do actually quite like about this sniper is, even though it's very hard to use, because it's so hard to use, whenever I see people sharing on social media crazy sniper rifle clips they get, I'm like, wow. You know, that was impressive. Damn it. Yeah, I'm atrocious with this sniper rifle. I gotta get better. I literally gotta get good. It is fun. This is like one of the most skillful sniper rifles in the series. And this is coming off the back of like Halo 5, where you didn't even need to be aiming on the person to land headshots. Oh, did I say Halo 2 Marathon at some point? I apologize. What are your opinions on the... Oops. What are your opinions on the ping system now that we've had 2 flights use it? And has your opinion on the system changed since you made that video on it? Oh yeah, my opinion has completely changed on it. All of the fears that I had, they're okay. The ping system's pretty good, you know? People aren't using it nearly as much as I thought, or at least I'm not perceiving it, because obviously I cannot see enemy pings. But it's okay. I'm very happy that I was wrong. Mysterious Vagabond says, what's your opinion on the needle rifle from Reach? The needle rifle. Mechanically, I'm not the biggest fan of it. But everything about the aesthetic presentation, the conceptual idea behind it, it is such a cool weapon. Such a cool weapon. It's up there with like the Spartan laser for me, where I'm like, sandbox wise, you are not how I would design a weapon, but goddamn, some talented artists brought you to life. Damn it! Oh, Axel Animation says he might have to go. He's in the car and the stream is getting laggy. All right, buddy, we hope to see you again. What is your favorite My Hero Academia quirk? Says Stormio. My favorite My Hero Academia quirk is definitely, I think, Best Genist. For those of you who don't know, the character Best Genist, he has the ability to control people's clothes. He is the fiber master. And he really likes denim. So his costume is just, he has a jeans shirt, a jeans jacket, jeans that he's wearing, and a jeans mask. He's pretty funny. That's my favorite quirk. But on the topic of superpowers and stuff like that, what is the dumbest superpower you can think of? And I'm not talking about dumb as in like, oh, it's useless, but like, it is so specific that it has no practical use. So the one that I've pitched to Rebecca, because I've asked her this question too, is you have the ability of flight, but only on the second story of used bookstores. So you can fly, but only on the second floor, inside of a used bookstore. And the other one is, you have the ability of immortality, but only on Wednesday nights at 10:39. Once it's 10:40, you're no longer immortal. The ability to melt Ben & Jerry's Rocky Road ice cream. See, yep, that's pretty good. The power to telepathically control cheese. What if the ability to mind control dairy products? The issue being that dairy is not a sentient organism, so your power is essentially useless. Let me see. Being able to kill anyone, but only after they are dead. Rebecca says toxic cheese farts. Oh boy. I know why she said that. I have a lot of apologizing to do. Late Night Gaming, I would recommend Share the Night Together. It's a really good song. Share the Night Together. Okay. I'll check it out. We talked superpowers. Mine would be the ability to always say the right thing. Oh man, I would like that. You have a 2% chance to survive something that would normally instantly kill you. That's pretty good. The ability to mind control someone, but you can only make them think about used car deals? That's pretty good. That is a pretty good power. So you have the ability to mentally influence people, but your influence is only limited to car dealerships, and specifically used ones. That's pretty good. The ability to control electronics, but only in July. The ability to crush peanuts with extreme precision. That's pretty good. The power to levitate birds. That's also pretty good. The ability to fly, but only upwards. Oh, like just linear upwards. Like you can't actually fly around. You can only move up. Like essentially you're a human elevator. That's pretty good. Adarsh Uni Wilson, I hope I said that right, says, what's UNSC order 058831A-1? Got it out of bounds on Behemoth. That's interesting. What is that? Did it like pop up on your HUD? That wasn't fair. I shouldn't have been able to land a headshot. Oh boy. Let's get out of here. That is interesting. I feel like I've heard that before. That sequence of letters. Isn't that what Cortana says? In Halo 3? No. The ability to flush anything down a toilet. Are you happy with the outline system now? I will say, this flight, I am having a lot less issues with visibility. There are still some moments where I do get a little bit confused and I have to like stop for a second, but I'm getting better at being able to pick apart friend from foe. Now, basically, a lot of my issues have been transformed into just aesthetically. It makes the game look very kind of like everybody is photoshopped into the environments. With Red versus Blue, players existed within the world, where now they don't. They're very detached from the world around them. You know, they've got this giant glowing outline. And that's basically the only issue I have right now. You know, that, and also because they are now detached from the world, there's a lot less room for error, which could unintentionally make the game sweaty. In a game where the visual design is constantly giving away your position, there's a lot of room for that to get unintentionally too sweaty. Joseph says it's fair since it's a starting weapon. I don't know if I agree with that, man. You know? The gun that's not really healthy for the combat loop. Just give it to everybody. I feel like that would make things worse. Like a lot worse, you know? In the hands of one player, it's already a little bit problematic. In the hands of 8? That's like the Spartan abilities, like how it's like, no, see, they were fair and balanced because everyone had them. I was like, I feel like that just made the game worse. Moyasu999 says, I think weapons with the same fire and weapon type can work in Halo. Like, the shotgun was an infinite alongside the Bulldog, with it working as a rapid low-fire damage with the classic the way it did in CE. I don't think that's... It's kind of like that's where you get into these weird area of like, what makes a gun special is its fire rate and damage output, which I think is kind of uncreative sandbox design. I think it's more interesting of what makes your weapon interesting is the role, the utility. Like, this weapon is fully automatic close range. This weapon has the ability to stun players or launch electrical orbs that can shut down vehicles, or like this weapon has the ability to lift objects and launch it. Like, that I think is a more interesting way to balance a sandbox, because it creates more interesting weapons, more variety in the sandbox, instead of just a bunch of guns where the only thing that makes them special is their fire rate and their range. That being said, if Halo Infinite is going to live for 10 years, I do think that there is value in trying to get as many of those classic weapons in here as possible. Like, okay, so the Saw. I think the Saw is aggressively dull as a weapon, because it's just an upgrade to the assault rifle. But, just for the sake of, like, being able to recreate classic combat rhythms in Halo, like, the thruster pack is an equipment in this game. So theoretically, let's get the rest of Halo 5's weapons in here. I don't like them. I'd not play a Halo 5 throwback playlist that had Halo 5 weapons, because I think that would be pretty boring. Because that's not the kind of sandbox I like. But just so it's there, that's cool that Halo 5's combat loop can be recreated with the same weapons and equipment. Let's see some of these other... Have you ever seen any of the Halo campaigns in a language that isn't English? Halo in Japanese is a very surreal experience, I'll tell you. I have not, actually. Is it kind of like an anime? Is it, like, very dramatic? I'd be curious, actually, now to see Halo in different languages. Dirty Belter says, "Yay, I got banned from the flight. Not sure why. Hopefully it's not like this in the final game. Unrelated, I would love to see some Halo Marathon crossover. The story of Marathon Infinity is crazy." Yeah, I finished the first Marathon game. No, I think I almost finished it, but kind of gave up. I want to properly replay Marathon sometime soon and make a video on it, because that was a pretty good play from that guy, by the way. That was smart of him not to come in here. Marathon is pretty crazy. And as for you getting banned, yeah, people are saying that they're getting banned a lot. Like, when the game crashes, it, like, incorrectly thinks that you have been a naughty boy, and so it bans you from matchmaking. I have also seen some people say that stuff like Reshade gets incorrectly registered as, like, a hack or a mod. I've heard the Japanese dub for Halo is pretty bad. Yeah, that definitely seems to be the case with a lot of dubs. In fact, actually, from what I understand, it's either the Italian or the French dub for Half-Life 2 is notorious in those countries for how just inhumanly bad the voice acting is. Like, all the voice actors sound stiff and bored. Resilient NDN says, "Get yourself a coffee, King. You deserve it. Also, you gonna try out any new games? What do you think about Demon Slayer?" Okay, Demon Slayer. I've seen people talk about Demon Slayer. Can you pitch it to me? I don't know what it is, and I would actually like to try some new games. World War Z recently had its first-person game mode update, and I'm like, you know what? Okay. I might want to give that a try now, because I tried out World War Z, and it was fine. But the third person is what kind of killed it a little bit for me, and no, I'm okay with third-person games. But more so for zombie games, I tend to like them being third-person, especially when they are designed kind of around, or I tend to like them being first-person, because I think the rush of a zombie, like, running at you in the first-person, not to mention a horde of them, is exciting. It's why I like Left 4 Dead and World at War's Nazi zombie mode. So the fact World War Z now has a first-person mode, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna give you a try, because I'd like to see that type of zombie in the first person. I would also really like to play Metroid Dread. I'm really looking forward to it. I was pretty hyped about Sonic Colors Ultimate, but just because Sonic Team can't help themselves, the port doesn't look that great. And that really bummed me out, because I like Sonic Colors quite a bit. I've even been thinking about hopping on Bowser, Mario 3D World, Bowser's Fury, or 3D Land, 3D World, whatever it was. Bowser's Fury for the Switch. I was like, you know what? I'm feeling like a Mario itch coming on, because right now I've got that Sonic brainworm. I'm playing a lot of Sonic games. I'm like, Mario, Plumber Man. I'm about to say something heretical. Bazaar is a pretty boring map. No, I don't. I think it's a little bit boring. What is kind of fun, though, is I think there's enough weird weapons and gadgets that Bazaar could be transformed into a more interesting map. Something that could be fun with Bazaar is, I think, repulsors. And so take the repulsor and the shields, and then have some of the weapons designed more around those utilities. In fact, could you imagine how cool a portable gravity lift would be in this game? Overshields are too strong. I do agree there. I think the overshield is more disruptive than it is tactical. I don't... So for a rocket is annoying and dumb, like the rocket launcher, and I think it's pretty annoying, but what separates it from the overshield is there's a chance that somebody could miss with a rocket launcher. With the overshield, it's just like you get better at activating it before you run into the room and just kill everybody, because they can't stop you. You have more health than them. It's just kind of like a go crazy ability. Kill everybody. You know, and if you die, you just deploy it before you run into the room next time. There isn't a lot of room for error with it. And it's not very controllable. It's not a problem, though. It's just more annoying when it shows up. And, you know, if it does get to that point where the community is like, we've had enough, they can forge it out. Bazaar is definitely better than Live Fire, in my opinion. Yeah, there's a little bit more to Bazaar than Live Fire. Live Fire is like it feels almost like a map ripped out of, like, a boring Treyarch Call of Duty, just because it's like that generic 3-lane structure. I have seen people say that Bazaar is very Call of Duty-esque, and I can see that in that New Mombasa, as much as I love it, it's not the most interesting, like, location, you know? It's just, like, war-torn, deserty town environment. Like, Call of Duty has done that environment to the point that it's almost, like, iconic to Modern Warfare. The, like, war-torn streets with RPG trails coming out of buildings. So seeing Halo now do it with modern visuals instead of, like, Halo 2 back in 2004, it's like, yeah, it does kind of look a bit like Modern Warfare, doesn't it? But Bazaar, I at least do think that with some more creative sandbox placement, you could make it a more fun map to play on. Live Fire, I think, is a little bit too dull for its own good. What if I made you on permanent radar? Okay, so on the topic of radar, I'm not actually sure I understand that comment, but on the topic of radar, I've seen a lot of people saying that they don't like the radar. Do they not like the motion tracker aspect of it, or do they not... Is it different from how the radar of Halo traditionally is? What environment would you like? Like for a map? Something I'd actually love to see is as like a map layout is an asteroid is a mining thing on an asteroid, and the idea is it's like parts of the map are inside, but there is an outside where the outside, the gravity is all kind of like floaty and bouncy, and you can kind of moonwalk. And outside, you could even have vehicles. You could have ghosts and warthogs and stuff, and maybe there is a capture point for control. Or what do they call it? Strongholds. Maybe there can be a capture point for strongholds way out on the moon asteroid's surface, and you use vehicles to get to it and stuff. And, hey, maybe there can be a place on the map you can use your AI to hack the map's gravity settings, and now gravity gets shut off inside of the mining station, and now just the whole map is floaty. And then, of course, you know, you could turn on gravity again if you wanted. People are saying snow. You know what? That is good, and I am disappointed in the fact that I did not immediately say snow as well. I want to see a snow environment. It's been a while since we've seen Halo have snowy environments. And I guess I should say good snowy environments, because Halo 5's snowy environments were not... They didn't, like, really play into the snow. Like, come on, let's have big, puffy snowflakes, you know? Oh, let's set it at night and have it be a vehicle-heavy map. That way, the headlamps of the vehicles and, like, the floodlights are, like, catching the snow particles on them, you know? That would look cool, right? The old 1-2 punch with the plasma pistol. Oh, we are getting red reticles. I had just noticed. I had just thought about red reticles. We are getting them, aren't we? No, look right there, I wasn't. That's really strange. This ain't Watch Dogs hacking. I'd say, is it really Watch Dogs, or is it a thing Halo has already done? Halo 2, 3, and Reach all had interactable map elements that you could toggle on and off. That's not really anything Halo hasn't already done. And I think it makes for a fun way for the player to engage with the map itself, and also gives the map its own identity. Because Halo Infinite has a lot of randomized weapon spawns, I've noticed. So weapons aren't going to be really remembered for, this is the map with X, this is the map with Y. It's just kind of like, like every map kind of seems to have everything on a rotation. So maps can't really have their own identities this way, so you gotta find other ways to do it, and one of them would be, like, you know, little map gimmicks like that. You know, people say gimmick as if it's a bad thing. I think gimmicks can be really fun. I hate the Spartan gloves in this game. Yeah, I do feel you. The Spartan gloves, something looks a bit weird about them. I'm not quite sure what it is. Here, let me actually raise the assault rifle a little bit. I think it's how flat and reflective it is. I mean, it definitely looks like a glove, you know, it's like a good-looking glove. But I think of, like, the Halo 2 and Halo 3 gloves, where there is still a lot of texture. There's even, like, bumps and grooves. You know, it's not, like, a flat latex thing over somebody's hand. It's not a silhouette of a human hand. Like, you can see, like, there's little, like, fake knuckles on them, and, like, bits of armor over the joints of the hand. Like, there's a lot of bumps and raises and stuff on them. It's why I actually don't like the Halo 2 Anniversary gloves for Chief. I think Chief's hand models in Halo 2 Anniversary look really ugly. And it sucks that they were ported into Halo 3 as, like, the HD hand models, because it just makes all the Spartans in Halo 3 now look like they have sausages for fingers. My ideal environment is to fight in a futuristic war-torn neighborhood. Get an idea of what the grunts fight. Maybe have it be bright and colorful, kind of like Nuketown 2025 or something. That could be cool, actually, like suburbs. What would a... Rebecca asked me, actually, a really interesting question today while we were in the car. She said, what is civilian life like in the Halo universe? And I could not answer her, because I don't really know that well. You know, Halo's all about green men shooting things. We don't really know what average civilian life is like in Halo outside of like little Easter eggs or glimpses. What's actually really funny is some of the 343 people that I've talked to, we actually talked about that. And they were like, man, civilian life is really hard to design around in the Halo universe because the franchise rarely explores it. And they were talking about something funny they were doing, which was combing through like a Bungie concept art and also exploring maps and trying to be like, what do you think that is? It's too low poly. Maybe it's this, like, just because there's so little about what is a Halo suburb like? And it's just funny that, like, yeah, you know, Halo's a funny series. Goodbye, I have to go to school, says Spartan Mark 5. I shall see you later, friend. Though most things in Halo 5 artistically aren't that cool, the Halo 5 hand models in that game are super good. Yeah, the Spartan gloves of Halo 5, I do not like Spartan hands looking like that, but holy moly, like, whoever designed the Halo 5 gloves, I hope that person is eating well, because they did a fantastic job. Halo 5's gloves are some of the best hand designs I've ever seen in a game. Like, they just look really good. It just sucks that, like, Halo 5's indirect lighting means they look super flat a lot. Like, anytime you're in shadow, a lot of detail is lost. Chandler says, when is Q&A coming back? That is a good question, friends. When would you guys like the Q&A back? And in what form? And how should I kick it off? Should it be on Late Night Gaming or should it be on my second channel? And should I go back to that old Q&A video and find some questions about it and answer those? I'm actually going to quickly go get a drink if that's okay. Oh boy. Okay, connecting server. I'm going to be very fast. Did I beat it? Yes, I did. I beat the timer. Whew. Okay. How long is this stream gonna be? I have no idea. Rebecca says that she took Benadryl for allergies and she's so drowsy. Oh, baby. If you want to take a nap while I'm streaming, you can, okay? Zip says, this game is sweet, but there's something that feels off to me. I can't put my finger on what's missing. So I actually do think I have an opinion, at least, on what's missing. There isn't that, like, because the weapon spawns are so randomized, there isn't really that, like, driving thing. Like, I think of, okay, so the pit. The pit on Halo 3. When you spawn on the pit, you know exactly what to do, right? you're either going for the energy sword, or you're going for, you're either going for the sword, you're going for the 2 shotguns, or you are going for the rockets in that hallway, and there's going to be people in that hallway, so you're going to throw grenades. Like, they have their initiating stories that are almost part of their identities as maps. And Halo Infinite so far doesn't seem to have that. You know, that kind of like, oh, this is the map where we all do this. Oh, I love this part. Watch, you know? Like, there isn't a lot of variety because of the paradoxically, having randomized spawns, I think, adds to less map variety, because it just means that a lot of the maps start blending together and having similar combat loops. I think it's more interesting when some maps are exclusive. You know, they have their own identities. Some maps have this weapon, and this weapon you won't really see on another map. It's kind of like, so EA's Battlefront 2, I think it's a very good game, but I don't think it has quite as much variety as classic Battlefront 2, because of the fact every map can have any hero you want. I think it was more interesting when some maps had different heroes, like Geonosis. It was like, oh yeah, Geonosis, that was the map with Count Dooku. And Mace Windu, you know, those two didn't show up on any other map. I mean, they did. I can't quite remember, though. But it's stuff like that, like giving maps exclusivity to an extent, where they have things that are part of that map, and you will not see it on another. In EA Battlefront 2, like, all the heroes, they're just on everything. Not related, but what is your favorite Dark Souls-like game, if you've ever played? Dark Souls 3 is my personal favorite. So I've played a few of them. I played Bloodborne. I've played quite a bit of Dark Souls 1. A little bit of Dark Souls 2, as well as Jedi Fallen Order, which is an easier one, but I'd still consider that kind of Souls-like. I'd say Bloodborne, probably, is my favorite. I hate the poor frame pacing in that game. It makes it really hard to play without getting a headache sometimes. Bloodborne is very sloppy, but I think it's a masterpiece in spite of its sloppiness. I don't think a game needs to be flawless in order to be a masterpiece. I think you can't be flawless. Flawless is an ideal to strive for. You'll never achieve it, because that's like, you know, it's an ideal. So I feel like the idea of a perfect game, and then like knocking a game down because it failed to reach that ideal, it's like, that seems a bit silly to me. Masterpieces can have flaws. Axel Animation says he has to go real soon and to please read his comment. Alright, Axel, we will see you later, buddy. Are you looking forward to Elden Ring? I am looking forward to Elden Ring a little bit. I hope I have time to play Elden Ring, because it looks good. Is it just me, or is there almost no homing mechanic on the plasma pistol's charge shot now? There definitely is still a homing mechanic. It's just more like the... Oh, excuse me. It's more like classic Halo, where it didn't literally home in and always hit. Like Halo 5's was a little bit silly. You almost never missed with the plasma pistol. Have I played this on the OG Xbox One? It's funny you mention that, because I've still got my original Xbox One from 2013, and I have not gotten rid of it. And now I have a good reason to not get rid of it, because I want to see how this game plays on it. The Halo 2 plasma pistol has the most insane tracking of any of the games, though. And both CE and Halo 3 have better tracking than Infinite's. Halo 2's EMP, or Halo 2's plasma pistol is pretty insane with its tracking, but it's not close to how just absurd Halo 5's was. But yeah, this one is definitely maybe not weaker than Halo 3's. Because Halo 3's was pretty weak, the tracking, and I assume that is probably because of, like, the expanded utility of it. There's somebody directly above me. Here, we're gonna pick up his grapple. Go over this way. Uh-oh. We're visible. I'm curious about customization. Also, Late Night, can you give 343 this advice to give the player more control on their Spartans? Coding customization. Let me change the colors in their designs. Yeah, we need to have, like, the coding system is very restricted in terms of what you can do, because it's entirely 100% in the developer's control. I'm all about that for, like, maps and stuff, you know, giving the developers plenty of freedom to curate the experiences in the maps. But when it comes to customization, I do think Infinite is weirdly restrictive, you know? That comment of fans of Halo Reach's customization will not be disappointed. Reach seems to still have more personalization in terms of your armor. You know, Reach at least let me pick my colors. I hate how slow the melee on the hammer is. Yeah, I feel like it's this weird, like, this weird perception that the gravity hammer was just another energy sword because it swung fast. And so this slow hammer swing is them trying to make it different. Kind of like ignoring the fact that, well, the hammer never was just an energy sword. Mechanically, it was so different with its gravity abilities. It's like, ironically, this hammer reminds me more of the energy sword, just it swings slower because of how weak its gravity abilities are now. It's just a melee weapon that you get kills with in this game. There's not a lot of utility beyond that, you know, like self-launching. You're not going to be using that gravity hammer for speedruns in the campaign anymore. No! Do you think the older Halo games truly deserve the M rating? Personally, I don't think it does. This could work as a video idea. Like, Halo Combat Evolved, I definitely think was M-rated. Just from, like, the amount of, like, violence in that game. But also, do you remember, like, Sergeant Johnson's crazy rant that he goes on about killing the Covenant at the beginning of the game that gets increasingly more creepy? Oh, I see the bots back. Goodbye, bot. I also, though, I don't think Halo has to be M-rated if the game doesn't warrant that. Because something also to consider is, like, okay, so Halo Infinite right now, what does it take to have an M-rated game? From what I understand, it's gore and extreme language. Would it make sense for it's like, oh, our Halo Infinite is T for teen. We need to have more violence. We have to have Chief drop the F word some more so we can crank it up to an M rating. Like, at a certain point, are you just making it M-rated for the sake of it? Where is the people? Damn it. Okay. Majora Z says the problem is the slow spin. The normal swing is just. Hang on, let me. I saw your comment, Majora Z. Basically, you were saying that the problem is the standard melee is still just as slow. I definitely would not mind that if the trade-off was that you had these crazy gravity manipulation abilities. It's like, well, that would be a reason that you'd want to keep multiple weapons. Like, you get the gravity hammer for its gravity abilities, but it's got this really slow swing. So to compensate, you should probably want to grab something for your pocket that has a faster melee speed. But yeah. Yeah, the hammer's in a messy spot. Which is disappointing, because this is the gravity hammer's big return to the series. It was just a DLC weapon in Halo 5. What do you think of the double XP counting down in menus? I think it's disgusting anyways, like XP savers and timers and stuff. I don't like that anyways. And so the fact that it counts down in menu and they're still just gonna sell it, even though they're like, yeah, we agree it's a problem. I think that's just gross. Overlord Cornute says, GG dude, crazy ending up in the same game with you. Oh, we just played a game together. That was a good game, my friend. How are you feeling about how the VR handles? I love the design and sound, but something feels off. I agree. I think it's the view model, which is a little bit unflattering looking. I can't quite figure out what it is. I think it's how tall the scope is. Because the classic BR, the scope was a part of the gun, where in this game it's got that, like, that Picatinny rail, and then a scope mounted on the top of that. So the BR looks slightly taller than normal. And I think that's what's throwing me off about it in this game. That's not a problem, by the way. That's just an observation. What Halo game is the best sandbox? I don't know. I think all the Halo games have had flawed sandboxes to an extent, but I'd say the closest to being my ideal way to balance and design a Halo game was Combat Evolved. We're on the pretty Forerunner map. God, the art direction for this map is just mwah. It's nice seeing Forerunner environments that look like Forerunner environments again. Damn it, I missed him. Yeah! That felt satisfying. Damn it. Okay. I'm getting better with this thing. I see a ghost coming. Damn it. Okay. What do you think of the updated sounds in this flight, like the hammer and needler? The new needler sounds pretty good. The hammer, I think, still sounds like just somebody dropping a heavy box. Like, the hammer, I think it's like, it's at the point where I'm like, you're gonna have to make a new sound, you know? You can't just update it. And I don't know if they're gonna be able to fix the sound design for it before launch. The new hammer sounds pretty awful. But thankfully the community has been pretty vocal about wanting improvements. And, you know, keep it up, guys. This looks fun to... That looks fun to use. Oh, the skewer? Yeah, the skewer's awesome. Stop wasting my skewer shot on players. Oh, but I'm having fun with it. Yeah, look at my HUD's all broken because I've like moved the UI elements around. Give me this thing. Oh no, I just got this. Yep. Spikefish Network says, you should be able to change the color of each piece of armor and also have the ability to add textures to each piece, i.e. red knee and then plastic metal. Yeah, there needs to be a lot more flexibility, and I believe the reason that they aren't doing that is it's part of a wider issue in the games industry, which is they wanna sell you designs and coding. So the problem, so during the loot box days, it was important for you to have lots of like shirts, pants, and stuff like that, because then you could fill up a loot box pool. Well, now they don't have loot boxes anymore, so they've got to sell you like $7 skins. And the better way to do that is to start locking down customization a little bit and have really defined silhouettes. That way you can like sell those silhouettes to people. Think of like Modern Warfare's operators. You know? Could you imagine like how little those operators would sell if you could like customize their shirt and their pants and their gloves and if it's a solid thing that is always the same design every time you see it, it's iconic, it's recognizable from a distance. It's basically in-game marketing. That's why you don't see a lot of flexibility, and I think that's part of the armor cores, because Halo has a problem of, it's a series, a problem in terms of monetization. It's a series about like lots of player freedom and their customization. In a day and age where customization is kind of being locked down in favor of these very marketable silhouettes. So the armor cores come in because, well, now we can lock down the armors to have defined silhouettes. You know, the samurai armor will always look like the samurai armor. Don't let players put an ODST helmet on their samurai armor, because then you start to break up the silhouette of it. Unfortunately, that's what I think is going on. It's also the same reason that, like, Battlefield is going in that style of having its like, what do they call them? Specialists or something? Or it's just identifiable, iconic, recognizable silhouettes. That way, when new skins for those silhouettes are in the rotating in-game store, you'll see that skin on another player, and you'll think, maybe I should check out the store. That skin did look kind of cool. It's, you unintentionally run around as a salesman for the rotating store. You know, it's the same reason that, like, Nike and stuff, you know, it's not enough to just buy a Nike shoe. It also has the giant Nike on the side of the shoe. That was pretty nice. You know, you are also advertising the brand as you wear it. I've been playing Halo 2 without customization. I hardly care anymore, sadly. Yeah, the kind of like, just the very kind of narcissistic focus of modern gaming has gotten a little bit tired, where it's like you are unable to play, players are unable to play a game unless it has 1,001 ways for you to make yourself look like a clown and that your gun shoots rainbow sparklies. Like, it's not enough that the game has strong presentation anymore. The player has to be able to look like whatever they want, regardless of if it matches the game's aesthetic or not. It's like, that kind of sucks that we're training players to kind of focus inward. They only care about themselves and how they look. And I can't blame players too much, because, you know, that is also a lot of, like, games teaching players to kind of think that way. It's part of also why you see a lot of modern game menus have your character front and center. That way, customization is always on the brain. You know, Modern Warfare has, like, your operator there, front and center, always. It's even why I assume Call of Duty got rid of the prestige system, where you could kind of go through the customization again and re-unlock everything. It's like, no, like, they want to sell you awesome-looking guns. They want your guns to always be accessible to you. You know, it's all about customization. Oh, Ghost just spawned. Let's get this. All right, buddies. Oh, boy. I got EMP'd. Oh, boy. Somebody says, do you think that there's a way to make the Bulldog more distinct and interesting? Not really. I don't think so, because I think by design at its core, it was designed to be an easier to use shotgun. You know, it's like, it's kind of like, how would you redesign the suppressor, the Forerunner suppressor? You'd kind of have to start from scratch, because at its core, the suppressor was designed to just be Forerunner assault rifle. Or Forerunner SMG. Like, you know, the concept of it isn't very creative. You'd have to really start over. There. That's a little bit silly. See, I shouldn't have been able to get that kill from that range with this thing. Jeez Louise. I notice I've used the plasma pistol a lot in this game. And I think a large part of that is due to, like, the strong sound design. You know, it sounds more like a plasma pistol. Did you see Hidden Xperia mess with the shock rifle? Its electricity charge is able to pass through weapons and stuff, so he literally made a line of weapons on the ground, and it'd leap across them to enemies. Yeah, I did see that. I hope that that is not a bug, because if that's not a bug, that is such a fun, sandboxy quirk for that weapon. That's the kind of stuff I like to see from Halo. Don't you think there's something missing from this? I feel like there's something missing. It's good, it's more Halo, but something drastically feels off, and I can't put my finger on it. I think a big part of it is how detached from the world the players and gadgets are. They're floating on these things. They're glowing. Everything's smeared in HUD goo. So your visual experience is a lot more simplified than it used to be. So you're not focusing so much on the world anymore. You're able to see, there's a lot less learning, I guess, that's going on. You know, learning the maps and stuff. It's very easy to get a hold of them. And then the fact that the maps all have, like, randomized weapon spawns, there isn't really a flow that's being established. And all the maps kind of feel the same. I described it like the pit. You know, in Halo 3. There's the energy sword and the rockets. Everyone rushes for those. Both bases have a sniper and a shotgun. Like, there's an identity. You know how those weapons play from the spawn, and so there is a driving force behind that map. With this kind of, like, randomness, the maps don't really have that driving factor. Yeah, that was nonsense right there, that kill. I don't believe I should have been rewarded that kill for using this weapon at that range. I don't think it was fair on him. The weapon spawns aren't random, there are just two types of spawn. The weapon spawns are random. From what I understand, sometimes there's a battle rifle, sometimes there's a commando. And that's pretty random to me, because the battle rifle and the commando are two very different kinds of guns. Oh boy. Granted, I also probably am just confusing the flights, like the weapon spawns. Maybe they've changed from flight to flight, but... Late Night Gaming, what do you think about them using 3-lane maps? So far, I only like Recharge and the new map. Yeah, there is a lot of 3-lane stuff. I don't necessarily mind 3 lanes. The problem is when you design your 3-lane in, like, that Treyarch way, where it's like every map feels like it's the same thing. Live Fire, I think it was, like the Avery Johnson Academy. I think that's definitely the weakest of the maps so far in the flight, at least for me. Oh look, it's a chicken. It's a little chicken. Why do automatics have headshot multipliers? That bugs me a lot. Yeah, it bugs me too. What I assume that they're doing are they're trying to unify the experience, standardize the experience, so that it's less confusing for new players. Because for us Halo veterans, Like, we know that. That's a given, you know? But if you're somebody coming off of, like, Fortnite or, like, Call of Duty or something, that might be confusing to you. That some guns just do no extra damage, even if you fire the head. And so for the sake of trying to onboard new players, that's probably why they made that change. I don't really agree with it. I feel like a new player could learn. Just like, oh, in this game, this is how it works. Damn it. Okay. Yeah, it's definitely problematic to have headshot multipliers on certain weapons, especially one like the assault rifle where it's more or less like a roulette wheel. Like some shots will hit the head, some won't. Who knows? Just hold down the trigger and spray. Oh, the flag is gone. Hey, buddy. What are you doing? Damn it. Precision spawns make multiplayer too sweaty, in my opinion. Yeah, precision weapon spawns are more like a thing for competitive playlists and stuff. It's weird making the assault rifle a precision weapon. You're taking the problem people have with battle rifle starts, and you're making it worse by giving them a fully automatic battle rifle. Which I probably said like 100,000 times at this point. Let's make the assault rifle look stupid. Here, why don't we put this on it? Oh, it's just not equipping new things. Okay, I guess we're stuck with that skin. Alright, we got a spammer. This guy's going in timeout. There we go. Alright guys, the bot's gone. Time to kill is basically the same as Halo 2. I think it depends. Do you like the aerial control on the Warthog? Or do you prefer it going crazy when landing and flipping? I definitely like a little bit of craziness. I haven't used the Warthog enough, though, to really get like a grasp on how it's been changed. It does feel a lot different, though. Uh-oh. The other bot's back. I don't like weapon skins in Halo because it doesn't really fit the lore. Oh, I'd never worry too much about the lore. But in general, I'm also not the biggest fan of, like, weapon skins. Like, one of the most cursed things in this game is I realize, like, oh no. Like, some of these weapons designs are so cool in Halo Infinite. Like, the battle rifle. Could you imagine this, now that the battle rifle, like, with Halo 4 and 5, a lot of those guns looked really ugly. So seeing them smeared in these ugly skins, it was like, it's okay, they didn't look that good to begin with. But now that the weapons look a little bit more Halo-y, like seeing them in like neon, glowing, unicorn, like ugliness, it's like, oh no, don't do that to my babies! question, Late Night Halo. What design do you like better for the assault rifle? Do you like the Reach design or the traditional design more? I guess it depends on what you mean by traditional design, because all the assault rifles looked really different from each other. Until the Halo 4 assault rifle, where that was kind of the design that 343 used in both 4 and 5. I will say probably my favorite design for it might be the Halo 3 one, just because I think the glowing lights on the side of it, the glowing green lights, look super cool. But in terms of the frame, I actually like the Combat Evolved one the most. The Reach one is pretty cool, too. It's a little bit thin, though. With probably the Halo 4 model and the Halo 5 model being my least favorite. But that's not necessarily because the designs are bad. They're actually very faithful. But more so, it's got a lot of that, like, greebly-greebleness, you know, like micro detail piled on top of micro detail. As well as, like, the HUD, the heads-up display of the ammo counter being a little bit, like, futuristic-y, like, kind of getting away from that streamlined analog digital clock look. Also just, I have a lot of bad memories associated with that design, which isn't really even fair to that design. You know, when I look at the Halo 5 model for the assault rifle, all I think is, ugh, I hate you. Which is very silly. What I would like to see out of weapon skins, what could convince me to use a cool weapon skin, is not neon, rainbowy, like ugly, rainbow ugly, but do some more, like, militaristic type stuff. Like, basically create a weapon skin that doesn't override the identity of the weapon, but complements it. Like this skin that I'm using. It puts a cool little spin on the battle rifle. You know, it doesn't override the battle rifle and make it look like this ugly mess. It complements and adds to the battle rifle. I'd like to see some stuff like that. Like the one that just makes my assault rifle red? No, thank you. You know, I don't want to run that, because that just ruins the look of the assault rifle to me. But this assault rifle one, look at that. It makes it look kind of cool, right? But I get it, like, people like the kind of, like, loud-looking ones. Oh my god, we got another bot in here. Here, let's get rid of this guy, too. The bot is dead. I wonder how effective those bots are, like, at getting people to follow their, like, fake links. I swear, every aspect of Halo Infinite has some sort of controversy. The game isn't even out yet. That's definitely the case. Like, and I don't even think it's, like, because of the game's design, you know? Like, that's mostly just a thing Halo fans care about. I think just in general, 343, their marketing... I've never seen a game quite struggle, at least a AAA game, struggle this much with just looking appealing since Infinite Warfare. If you remember, the marketing for that game was... They were really struggling. But even they, I think, did a better job, because Infinite Warfare, like, its graphics didn't look fantastic. Some of its trailers were pretty sloppy, but, like, stuff like that campaign demo at E3 where they showed off, like, the shipboarding stuff, like, that was pretty well designed. Halo hasn't really had that outside of just the multiplayer trailer, which I think was really well edited. Oh boy, overkill. Damn it. Infinite Warfare looked more like Halo than Halo 4 and 5. I mean, that's silly. That is silly to say, but yeah, kind of. I will say, Infinite Warfare's science fiction universe looked way more interesting to me than Halo 5's. Like, Halo 5's science fiction universe I thought was very boring, where Infinite Warfare I thought had pretty solid art direction. It was an interesting world. No overkill announcement? I've actually got the announcer turned off. I've got the announcer turned off because I want the AI to shut up for 5 seconds, you know, because it's talking over me while I'm streaming. Lily says, how do you feel about the BXB mechanic? Well, it's definitely a bug, and they're probably gonna, you know, patch it out for good reason. Yeah, it's probably good that that thing goes away, because I can see it getting a bit problematic. I think it's fun. I think it's silly. Like, I like when Halo is a little bit silly like that, but... Aiden says, how do you think Infection will work considering the classic shotgun isn't in the game as of now? I think it'll struggle a lot. You know, the Bulldog just isn't it, Chief, in terms of depth. The reloading mechanic, the manual shell reloading, a lot of interesting combat stories can be formed around that. But I'm also worried, somebody brought up no player collision. How's that going to impact? Could you imagine all the survivors hiding inside of each other in one spot on a map? Like, the Gaming Ace says, was just in that match. I thought that was you. That was a good game, the Gaming Ace. That was a fun match. Would you agree that this game feels extremely punchy? Like, everything has impact. And kind of awesome. I would agree. The feedback of this game is pretty good. There is a little bit too much stuff that relies on, like, the HUD telling you stuff. Like, I notice it's kind of hard to tell a vehicle's damage state. Because basically the artists don't have to care, you know? Just smear it in HUD goo. That way the player knows. Like, vehicles kind of have this ugly neon glow when they're about to die. And that's the kind of stuff where the feedback feels a bit lacking. Majora Z says, the biggest issue with Infection is the mark tag system, in my opinion. Oh, yeah, I didn't consider that, how that might affect Infection. That's actually a really good point. When is this ghost gonna spawn in? I'd like to use it. Yes, I would. Uh-oh. We got another spammer. I wonder if we can permanently ban some of these people. Because I can only assume, like, some of these bots and these spammers come from that one guy who's hate watching the stream and is trying to give me a hard time. But we can easily just restrict the bots that he sends. I wonder if that's actually a problem for a lot of streamers and how you'd, like, deal with that. Because I am new to the streaming game. Yeah, here we go. Oh boy. Oh boy. There we go. Have you noticed any skill-based matchmaking in the game so far? Uh-oh, we got another one. You can make the chat subscribers only. Can I do that? How do I do that? I'm actually trying out right now with a keyboard and mouse. Yeah, aiming does feel really weird with a mouse. Woof. We're switching back to controller. Do you think the game is too sweaty? Or is it just the consequence of inviting people who play Halo a lot of the time? I think it's a combination of a couple of things. I definitely think, like, this... Like, you know, being able to accurately land shots with this weapon from across an entire map is leading to some of this perceived sweatiness from people. Because this game does kind of have BR starts already. Just the difference is, in this game, the battle rifle is fully automatic. Like, that guy's probably really annoyed right now that he's constantly being peppered by me. He doesn't have a lot of breathing room up there, and he should. I'm armed with an automatic weapon. But some of it could be matchmaking. I have no clue how the matchmaking algorithm is even working in this game, you know? I feel like, is there even enough people for it to properly be gauging player skill and matching them up with each other? Probably, you know? Game developers don't just do stuff randomly. There sometimes is a reason. Can I? Okay, I can use a grappling hook. Interesting, I just grabbed one. So you don't grab like a batch of them. I hate the fact that there are so many people legitimately sweating in the tech preview. I would say when it comes to balancing and, like, discussing balancing, having players sweat is a good way to identify, like, you know, if something is a little bit problematic. Here, we're gonna grab this thing. I'm just happy because we've never gotten a good assault rifle in a good Halo game. I don't think that's true. I think the Halo Combat Evolved assault rifle is a good rifle in a good Halo game. I even think the Halo 3 one is a good rifle in a good Halo game. I think there's a difference between a good assault rifle and an easy-to-use assault rifle. The assault rifle doesn't need to literally just be a battle rifle that's fully automatic for it to be a good weapon. I think some people just want it to be a gun they can get a lot of kills with easily. But I think I've discussed on the last stream that I do understand some of that is aesthetic purposes, you know? The assault rifle's a cool design, and some people just want to be able to use that and get kills with it, you know? Live that Halo fantasy, that Halo dream. And I understand that. I notice I'm getting a lot of, like, ghost reloads in this game. That's a problem I've only really ever had in, like, the Battlefield series and the Call of Duty series. And maybe, like, Halo 2. Oof. Please make chat sub only. How do we do that? I wonder how we can do that. Because Rebecca's currently... Oh my god, look, I can play with both a mouse and a controller. I'm currently using the controller to move around, and I'm using the mouse to aim. Oof. Juan Martinez says, I hated Halo 3 because of how trash the assault rifle was. Was it trash because you couldn't get kills at a range with it, or was it trash because it encouraged you to combo your melees and your grenades with it? Because that's what I liked about the Halo 3 assault rifle, was it encouraged you, it was a great starting weapon, because it was, the assault rifle's easy to use already. You know, you just center the screen, hold down the trigger, and the weapon shoots itself. But the fact that it wasn't completely capable of killing players on its own because of how easy to use it is, it encouraged you to combo it with things like your melee attack, or even your grenades and stuff. Oh boy. We are gonna get going, because I don't think this is a good position we're in. Woof. He's not gonna know what's gonna hit him. People are now discussing skill-based matchmaking in Halo. Skill-based matchmaking has always been in Halo. There is like this topic around skill-based matchmaking. In general, I think that it's not healthy for a game system to just have no skill-based matchmaking at all, period. You do need a little bit of that curation, but I do think that there should be a way for players to opt out of skill-based matchmaking via a server browser or something, and I do think for social play, an aggressive competitive skill-based matchmaking system should not be required. Oh, we got the bots are coming back. Can we just, like, permanently ban some of these people from the chat, like, forever? Not just, like, time out. Like, goodbye, friend. You're gone forever. Do you like the lens flare on the sniper and skewer? I don't hate it. It's a little bit silly looking, I guess. But it's also like one of those things where I'm indifferent. I'm probably going to do one more game and then I'm going to get off. Oh man, I am tired. Cardboard Cut says that he DM'd me on Twitter the instructions on how to make the sub chat only. How to make it sub chat only. Oh boy, here comes some more people. Yeah, we'll definitely do something. I wonder, is there a way that those bots can, like, that they can be auto-subscribed to a channel so that they can start spamming in it? So something interesting that I noticed about this game was, so in Halo 5, as kind of like a side consequence of aiming down the sights in Halo, the scope system was actually physically attached to your weapon. So in classic Halo, if you remember, when you were doing things like meleeing, you know, or sprinting, or I say classic Halo sprint, but like reach, you know what I mean. You could still and instantly scope out before the weapon was even raised, because the scope system was divorced from your gun. But in Halo 5, by making it a physical animation, it actually meant that even the act of zooming in was slower. You had to wait for the weapon to physically raise before the scope system would apply. And I noticed in this game it's a lot snappier. I wonder if they've modified it to detach it from the weapon slightly, to make it be a bit more like classic zoom. Here, let's go this way. I am getting very tired, if you guys can't tell, because having to play as well as talk. Dysfunction.exe says, hey, I DM'd you a video on the shock rifle from UT. Thank you, friend. I will take a look at that, okay? I appreciate you. I remember you telling me about that yesterday. I'll check that out, okay? Can you aim down the sights with the gravity hammer and energy sword like in Halo 5? Thankfully, no. You cannot in this game. That mechanic is gone. It is deceased. We got a hammer, buddies. Sorry, I am in focus time right now, chat. Late night, ban the keyword poop. Yeah, I guess I could do that. There we go. It is no more. It is an X mechanic, says somebody. Yeah, sorry, if I'm not so talkative, chat, it's because I am... Oh no, I'm calling you guys chat. I'm doing it. I'm becoming a streamer. What did we call all of you friends? Because I feel like you guys are more than chat. You're friends, you know? But yeah, I am starting to poop out a little bit. I'm running on empty. The brain can only entertain so much. Here we go. Oof. How long have we been streaming? Oh my god, almost 3 hours. That's why I'm exhausted. Go away! Oh no. LNG, you versus the Act Man. Who would win 1 versus 1? That's a good question. I would love to 1v1 the Act Man. The Act of Men. 1v1 in what? Mario Party? Oh boy. No! I feel like I'm hearing the skewer sound effect a lot. Like whenever I get killed via a headshot, I hear like that, like the high-pitched whine. Oh boy. No, nothing there. Uh-oh. Damn it. Okay. A late night audience, somebody says. That's pretty good. Do you think Behemoth is the best new map so far? Oh, yeah. Behemoth, actually, is probably my favorite map that we played. Like, it's so good that I wonder what the other maps are like. That is such a solid concept for a map. Whoever that was at 343 who was responsible for, like, the design of Behemoth, like, that's the way to go for, like, creating a kind of iconic Halo-y map. Like, obviously, it's important to have kind of like your standard, I guess, super predictable 3-lane maps, like, for the sake of, like, competitive play and also, like, casual play, but it's those, like, Halo-y, Behemoth-type maps. Like, those are really valuable to the Halo identity. There we go. All right. Ooh. I am now stretching. Oh, that was a lot of fun, guys. I am going to call it quits for now, all right? That was a lot of fun, though. I hope that you're all doing well. Well, we had some pretty interesting conversations, and I am so tired and so hungry. So I'm going to go get myself some dinner, if you all don't mind. And I shall see you all later, okay? That was a lot of fun.